Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to On Cash Flow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. In order to achieve financial independence in my 20s, I had to make some tough choices here. And one of those tough choices was reducing my expenses pretty darn low. If you can reduce your expenses low, you can achieve financial independence faster. And in an effort to do so, I completely got rid of plenty of expenses. And the first expense that I want to share with you is paying for your credit report. Did you know that you can get your official credit report for free every year? And that is from the website annualcreditreport.com. So you should never pay any money to access your official credit report. But literally the three big credit reporting agencies, they have to allow you to get access to your credit report at least once per year for free. Expense number two is one that it seems like everyone spends money on this. And very specifically, this is Amazon Prime. I am specifically picking out Amazon Prime because I don't think the benefits are worth it for me. And if you really stop to think about it, it might not even be worth it for you as well. You pay either an annual fee or a monthly fee and you get free shipping. But really, isn't that you're just prepaying for shipping? If you actually just purchase it without Amazon Prime on Amazon, you only have to spend $25 to get free shipping. So by default, you're going to be spending less money on Amazon, which means by default, you're spending less money on stuff, which is probably a good thing. So all of the extra little perks and benefits that supposedly come with Amazon Prime, I would never really use them. And so Amazon Prime wasn't worth it for me. Really stop and think about it if you are paying for this service, that maybe you could just cut it out completely and you really don't need it. Number three, we are going to dive into the world of travel because I occasionally do like to travel, and that is checked baggage fees. I never pay to check one of my bags. First off, I might have a credit card that I'm working on for a credit card bonus where I might be able to get a checked bag for free just for having that credit card, for being a part of the rewards member and all that stuff. Second off, I wouldn't check my bag because I will only bring enough for the carry-on anyway. I don't pack that much stuff, and you probably shouldn't be packing that much stuff too. You probably don't use most of the stuff that you pack if you are bringing checked bags. And plus, they usually check it for me for free at the gate anyway. 9 times out of 10 when I've flown, I've gotten my bag checked for free anyway at the gate. So I don't think it's really necessary to pay to check your luggage. You probably should never pay for that. And these can usually go around $30 for your first bag if you're checking it at all of the major airlines. So if you travel 5 days a year, that's $150 saved. Boom. Next up at number 4, it's not necessarily expense, but I just really had to add this in here, and it does have to do with travel as well, and that is prepaid car rentals. Okay, I still pay for car rentals. I still rent a car sometimes if I'm going to travel and I need to rent a car, but I never prepay for my car rentals, and I've learned this the hard way. So first off, their cancellation policies typically for car rental companies when you do prepay are pretty terrible. I have been gypped on those a few times, so I never prepay for car rentals. And plus, they don't even guarantee you a car in the first place. Just because you prepaid for it doesn't mean you get a car. Doesn't mean they're gonna have a car available for you when you get there. I've also fallen into that trap as well and had to go through the hassle of getting a refund for that. And by the way, this is part 2 of another video that I did where I talked about 10 expenses that I don't have that everyone else has. So this is kind of like an unofficial part 2, but we'll talk about more of that later. Number 5 is one that might hit really close to the heart here, and that is gifts. But specifically gifts because it's like a societal norm, because it is the right thing to do, because everyone else does it. So I don't give gifts just because of some certain occasion or just some kind of societal norm. I'm only going to be giving gifts to people who are my close friends and family, and just because I really want to give them something, not because I feel obligated to. So I have pretty much stopped with all of that obligated to give a gift kind of stuff. But we have things like birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, holidays, weddings, baby showers. Like, when does it end? It never ends, okay? So you could be giving a gift literally every week. I think that it really takes away from the specialness of actually gift giving. And so I have kind of said, you know what, I'm gonna opt out of this. And maybe you should opt out of it as well. Trust me, it's gonna lead to a lot less stress when you don't have to think about that all the time. Going on to another one that you might actually not think about too much. Number 6 is the annual credit card fee, but on an ongoing basis. So I'm not saying here that I've never paid an annual credit card fee. I'm saying that I don't pay for an annual credit card fee every single year. Annually. No. So the only time I'm going to actually be paying for an annual credit card fee is if it's part of a credit card that's going to give me a very lucrative sign-up bonus. So I do like to go after credit card sign-up bonuses every now and then as a kind of extra way to earn some income, as an extra way to reduce my expenses. And sometimes you do have to pay an annual fee associated with those cards. But I never keep the cards year to year to year where I continue paying that annual fee. All of my permanent cards are going to be cards with no annual fee so that I can, maintain that long and good credit history with those cards. And for the most part, the reason reason for this is that those cards with the annual fees, the perks and the benefits, like the extra ones that they offer, it's usually just kind of like miscellaneous stuff that I'm never really going to use, or I'm only going to use just because it's associated with the card and I already felt like I paid for it kind of thing. For me, annual credit card fees, not worth it on an ongoing basis. And this could save you easily. Most credit cards have like an annual fee of like $99 a year or something like that. And if you have several of those, then that really does add up. Number 7 on here, we are going to get into the world of insurance. Insurance is boring, but I think it can be exciting when you're talking about eliminating your insurance bills. So for the most part, I don't like to pay very much money for insurance. But number 7 specifically is dental insurance. Dental insurance specifically because it doesn't work like health insurance does. It doesn't protect you against a massive downside. No, actually, did you know that most dental plans have an annual maximum of anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,000? And so you're really only insuring yourself against that maximum annual amount. And if you can afford to self-insure yourself for that annual maximum amount, then you should theoretically be self-insured for your dental insurance, for your dental care, and just pay cash out of pocket. You're probably going to end up richer in the end. Unless, of course, you do have an employer that heavily subsidizes your dental insurance. A little story of mine, when I worked at the Chase Bank, I think I paid like $4 per paycheck every 2 weeks, so like $8 per month for my dental insurance back then, and I pretty much only got like 2 cleanings a year. With that very, very low cost for the dental insurance, it was worth it to me. But now being self-employed, if I had to pay for it on my own, it financially would not be worth it to me. So I choose to pay cash instead. Number 8 is the craziest one on here, okay? And I think it's the one that's the most insane here. But before I move on to that, I just want to say one expense that you should never cut is the expense of hitting the like button on this video. If you're enjoying this video so far, please make sure you like it and give it a thumbs up. It really isn't an expense at all. It is free. So please just tap that like button if you're enjoying this video so far. But let's get on to number 8. And number 8 is, again, with insurance, but this one is health insurance premiums. Okay, the reason why this is so crazy is because now that I'm considered to be self-employed, I'm taking advantage of the healthcare.gov healthcare plans that are available on there. And with that, me being under a certain income level, I get to take advantage of the premium tax credit. And the premium tax credit helps offset the costs of your health insurance premiums that you purchase through healthcare.gov. And in this case, for someone in my area, for a couple that's married filing jointly, if we make around $40,000 or less of adjusted gross income, that means that our high deductible health plan health insurance premiums are 100% covered by the premium tax credit. So that means that I don't pay any expenses for my health insurance premiums anymore. This literally saves me over $600 per month that I would otherwise, if this premium tax credit wasn't there, that I would be paying out of pocket. So yes, this is a very substantial reduction in expenses. And right now, I think this is one of the best solutions to the health insurance problem, to the health insurance question, if you are looking to become financially independent, especially at a young age. Number 9 also has to do with insurance, and that's because I have a strong dislike against most insurance. Number 9 is disability insurance. Now that I'm financially independent, now that I self-insure against most things, that includes disability, because what disability insurance is meant to do is it's meant to pay for a portion of your income if you are unable to work. Since you're financially independent, you have a substantial amount of assets and you're living mainly off your assets anyway, you don't really have a W-2 income to protect yourself against. So that is how I see it at this point. And so being financially independent, I am self-insured against disability. Now, really quick in the comments below, I want to know from you, any of these expenses that we talked about so far, do you still pay for some of these expenses? Do you agree with some of my stances that I took on these expenses? Do you disagree? I really want to have a conversation with you in the comments below, so please leave a comment. But the show must go on, and number 10 on this list is car payments. I have never had a car payment, and there's a very specific reason for that. So I've only had 3 cars in my life so far, and 2 of those cars were overseas in Japan when I was stationed there in the military. And those cars happened to be very, very cheap because a lot of people were coming and going, and the cars had to be sold frequently, and so they're very, very cheap. So my first car was $2,000 cash, my second car was $1,000 cash, and my third car, when I finally moved back to the United States, my first United States car, my legit car, was about $11,000. And as you may have guessed, I paid cash for all these cars, and so I've never had any actual car payments. Plus, I was able to control how much insurance I have on these cars since I paid cash for them. I didn't need to have full coverage that would be required if you did have a loan on those cars. And so that has definitely saved me a ton of money, and you should consider doing that as well, especially if you are paying car payments. If you can downgrade to a cheaper car, it can save you a lot of money. But hold on there, I do have a bonus number 11 expense for you. An expense that I do not pay for is money managers. Okay, I do not pay for anyone to manage my money for me. I do that all for myself. And I think that the majority of us, most of us individual investors should be doing that as well. Most of us should seek the knowledge and learn over time how to manage our money ourselves. And we should not pass it off to someone else. First off, if you actually have someone managing your money for you, then they're probably going to be charging you an assets under management fee. And that fee can devastate the amount of growth that your portfolio can have over time. The second part is I don't invest in actively managed mutual funds. So I keep my expense ratios with what I do invest in very, very low by investing in index funds. That's another way of technically having someone manage your money as well. Nope, I just have the index manage my money because there's no one actually behind the curtain there, pulling the strings. I don't have some financial genius picking the winning and losing stocks and bonds and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's really easy to manage your own money and even to keep track of your investments. So personally, what I use is a tool called Personal Capital, and I can link up all my investment accounts on there, and I can see all kinds of cool data on there on my own investments, like how my portfolio overall is performing in relation to the S&P 500. I can see how my portfolio is invested across different US sectors and how much in each sector. I can see what kind of expense ratios, like my average expense ratios are, and I can see all kinds of cool different stuff on Personal Capital, and it's completely free to use their online tools. So that is what I would suggest you try out. If you do want to try out Personal Capital though, you can try out their free tools. I'm going to put a link in the description below, and I'm going to put a link in the comment below as well. Or alternatively, you can try it out by going to oncashflow.com/PC. That will redirect you. They are an affiliate of mine, which means if you do link up your accounts on there, I could possibly get a little bit of extra bonus if you do sign up and try out their free online software. But that is all that you have to do, is just to try their free online software. You don't have to pay for anything. And then once you do that, if you haven't watched my other video, kind of like my part 1 of this video, where I talk about 10 expenses I do not have that everyone else has, definitely make sure you watch that video, okay? It's gonna pop up right next to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from oncashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.